Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com, your daily market recap, October 31st, 2023. Hit a like, subscribe, stay tuned for the rest of the video. Let's see what SPY and Friends brought us today. To the upside, 0.63% to the upside. 415 now is the support. Below it, 409. Don't forget we have Apple earnings coming up Thursday after the bell. We have also FOMC coming up, rate decision. We are going to expect more volatile, more roller coasters. So the only thing we have full control of to manage is our risk. QQQ 351 from support now becomes a very difficult resistance. Failing to break up and above, we will go back to the 342, below 342, 332 gap will get filled, and of course it all depends, you guessed it, FOMC rate decision. This trend line that was support broke to the downside. Now price got back above it, but we have the 351. Dow Jones 0.4% to the upside, continuing its bounce towards this upper red trend line, but let's see how the Dow will react to FOMC, and in my opinion, more importantly, how the Dow and the rest of the market will react to Apple's earnings. IWM 162 is still holding as very important area of support. Look left, support over here, support over here. Now holding support once again, breaking below it, 156 gap. We have a gap over here since October 2020, and we all know that more than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. Breaking below the 162, we will visit 156. For now, IWM, lower highs, lower lows, definition of a downtrend. Bitcoin still moving sideways, 33,500 to the downside, 35,200 to the upside, breaking below the 33,500, and we will go visit the 31,500 that was the previous major resistance. It will become the next major support. Ethereum, once again, this purple trend line is not giving up, and if bulls will give up, we will see this trend line to the downside once again. Let's make it yellow, just for the sake of this video. Breaking below this, and we will see this yellow trend line to the downside. It was a very important area of resistance, support. All these trend lines basically are the true support and resistance for future price action. If you want to know exact price, take Fibonacci. Swing low, swing high, be a little bit more accurate, but it's only an area. Breaking below the 1784, we're heading towards this trend line together with this 1724. Below the yellow trend line, we will see, in my opinion, 1600. KRE still inside downtrend purple channel. We drew this channel way back, and as you can see, we are still inside it. Crude oil futures CL1 broke below this red zone. Now, in my opinion, we will visit 77 to the downside. You also can take Fibonacci. That will give you why price is now where it is. Fibonacci, look at this. High, low, where price is now. Fibonacci, it's all about Fibonacci. People ask me, why Fibonacci? Because it works. All the other indicators, without any exceptions, are lagging. They all give you where price came from until the last candle. But this is not our problem. We can look left. We can see where price came from We have talked about this red zone in the past few weeks or so, and we said if this red zone will break to the downside, we will see 77, 73. So look left. We all know how to look left. Our problem as traders is where price might be heading next. This is why it's very important to get education and learn in-depth candlestick analysis, aka pure price action, and multi-time frames. Multi-time frames. What do you see on crude oil monthly? Close the month with a lower high, lower low, which is not very good. Fibonacci gives us everything that we need where price might be heading next. NG1, natural gas futures, broke above this trend line and went all the way to the 364. Now this trend line needs to act as support. Otherwise, we will go back and revisit all these Fibonacci levels to the downside. Continuation above 364. And in my opinion, next will be the 422. Gold breaking to the downside. Next is the 1970, below 1970, 1945. Look left. Support, support, resistance will become once again support. Continuation, in my opinion, for now, only above 2010 towards 2076. SOXX holding above the 433 area, as you can see. Let me adjust the mic a little bit. Holding above the 433 area. Let's see how SOXX will act tomorrow after AMD's earnings. We already had earnings. We know AMD went down a little bit. We'll go over it in just a few seconds. We have USD ILS. Trend lines are the true support resistance for everything. Cryptos, ETF, futures, Forex. Yesterday, bounce off this yellow trend line, breaking below where USD ILS will go. This green trend line that will need to act as next support. It was a very tough resistance for the higher highs. There is such thing as good resistance because we know that as long as price is hanging below this green trend line, just hanging and crawling up, it's a resistance for the higher highs. This trend line now, support. USD GBP, we have a very difficult resistance area over here. If bulls will give up, we have ourselves a multi-top scenario going down to the 0.81, below it, 0.80, and then 0.78. USD Euro, downtrend channel, short-term downtrend channel. There is nothing bullish on this pattern unless we will get a bullish break above it. But for now, it's a downtrend. AMD, beating expectations. EPS, revenue, after hours 97.92, which is on a Fibonacci level. Let's see how market and where market will take AMD tomorrow and during the rest of the week. Reminder, once again, FOMC, Apple. Be careful. Anything can happen. Bullish sentiment, and we will revisit this trend line to the upside. Bearish sentiment, and we will revisit this red trend line to the downside. Nvidia, also very interesting to see the battle between bulls and bears on this red zone. Bears wants to break below this red zone and take Nvidia towards the 372 and maybe even towards the 306. Bulls woke up today in the last hour Look, most of the day, price of Nvidia was below, with a gap down below the red zone. Bulls, in the last hour, woke up. Got reminder that they cannot allow bears to finish below the red zone. Apple, 0.3% to the upside. This 170 area, 171 area, very tough resistance. Why? Because it was important support. Now, 4 consecutive days, resistance. Let's see where and how market will react and where market will take Apple after the earnings. It doesn't matter what do we think about Apple as a company. It doesn't matter what we think, what we will think, if the report is good or bad. The only thing that matters is what Mr. Market is thinking and what Mr. Market is planning to do. Amazon, not much of a day. Doji above the 131 area. Very important to hold above this 131. Next is this gap to the upside, and then we will retest this white trend line to the upside. Meta 0.5% to the downside. Nothing much on Meta. Look left. All this area between the 301 and the 308 was a very choppy price action in the past during September. Almost 1 month of sideways move. Once again, trapped inside this zone. Long continuation above the 308. Short continuation below 294.80 to the downside. And of course, it's only my opinion. Microsoft, also nothing much. Inside candle doji, which represents nothing much. If market cannot decide, we surely cannot decide. If you want to go long on Microsoft, and of course it's only my opinion, always do your due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on social media. No one knows your risk tolerance. No one knows your psychology behind trading. No one knows your emotional management. And vice versa. Long continuation above 344. Weekly close. Short below 330. Google also, in my opinion, for now, stay away from Google until we will get some action. I have no other words. Short continuation. Sliding down this white trend line. Below it, we are heading towards this 117 and 113 gaps. If you want to go long, I would wait for a weekly close above 128. Tesla, trend lines, support, resistance, future roadmap. Roadmap for future price action. Continue sliding down on this red line. We have a gap at the 146, which bulls wants to avoid breaking below this red line. Take Fibonacci. Fibonacci will let you know where price might be heading next. Take it to the downside, and it will show you below we have 177, 158, and then this gap. I don't see any long for now on Tesla. So, patience. Netflix basically moving sideways since earnings gap up. 392, sorry, is the support. This yellow trend line is the resistance. You can take it from here to here to here. Much more accurate. Now you can see each and every time price reached, tried, got rejected. Long, weekly close above this yellow trend line. Shopify earnings coming up Thursday after the bell. Continue sliding on this white trend line. No long for now on Shopify. Bad reaction for Shopify earnings, and Shopify will break below this white trend line. Where Shopify might be heading next, you don't need to guess. All you need to do is take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high, and that's it. You have the 43 to the downside, and then 40 will be the next major support. Below it, 32. Good reaction. And with high probability, these two gaps will get filled. If you want to learn, to get proper education, check the links in the description below. Thank you very much for joining this video. I hope you found it helpful, educational. If you did, like, subscribe. Don't forget the notification bell because we are going live 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, trade safe and keep safe.